You tell me about inverted nipple correction. Is it permanent? Will it improve my chances of breastfeeding in the future? And is it a big procedure?
I think the question also was, how is it done?
How is it done? Okay, so inverted nipple correction. So a surgical inverted nipple correction, sure, that's permanent. That's a permanent treatment. It's not a big procedure. It's done under local anaesthetic. I think of it as a relatively small procedure, quick. I don't like saying small procedure because there's a surgical adage, you know, from when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, which was, there's no such thing as small surgery, only small surgeons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's quite cutting, isn't it? Yeah. But, you know, so there you go. It's, you know, but we'd consider it a minor local anaesthetic day case, fairly quick, easy recovery, not too painful afterwards procedure. There's a small cut made under the nipple, and it's really quite straightforward. You make the cut. You stretch or cut the nipple ducts, and so that's what comes, you know, that ties into, will it improve my chances of breastfeeding in the future? No, it could decrease your chances of breastfeeding in the future. And well before we're talking about a surgical inverted nipple correction, we ought to be talking about the non-surgical approaches, because it may be, it may be possible to correct your nipples without surgery. So one of the really good things to try first is something called a nipplet. And a nipplet is a little suction cup, and you sort of squish it and you put it on your nipple and it pulls your nipple out under suction. You've got to be quite dedicated to them, and there are some people out there who think if you are dedicated enough, you never need surgery. Now, I've got to say, I haven't experienced that level of success in my patients with that myself, and I have gone on to do surgery, but there are advocates, really strong advocates of nipplettes, who say you may never need surgery. The problem with it is, what people try to do, you know, we all want to be a bit efficient, right? And you'll buy one nipplet and you'll alternate between the sides. But if you're alternating it between the sides, by definition, half the time you're not using it. And if you're not using it half the time, it will not work. So get two, just go all out there and get two, maybe get four, so you can clean them and not take them off. And it's a slippery slope, all of this stuff, isn't it? You know, you started off with one, now I'm talking you into four, but you can see why.
Expensive.
They're really not expensive, and it might save you surgery.
Yeah.
And with a nipplet, it will definitely not hinder your chances of breastfeeding. And sure, if mechanically baby can latch on a bit better, then it might improve things. So there you go. How is it done? Like I say, small cut. The nipple ducts are... So there's a really helpful principle, which is that things cut better, cut more easily if they're under tension. We use that in surgery. That's why, I don't know if you've ever seen a surgeon cut, but a sort of, you know, trainee, novice might just sort of knife and cut. But actually what you need to do is you sort of put your fingers on the thing and then you spread, and you tense the skin as much as possible. You're putting the skin under tension. Same applies for the nipple, but with the nipple, what we'll do, a bit gory, spoiler alert, if you don't like the sound of gory things and nipples, then just do this, la la la, for a few seconds. We put a stitch through your nipple and we tent it upwards, and that gets us under tension. And then when I make my little cut, the tightest bands, the ones that I particularly want to cut, are the ones that will cut most easily, because I put them under tension. The other ones are not under tension yet, so they cut less easily, so you can hopefully preserve some breastfeeding. But I would always warn a patient having an inverted nipple correction, just presume this is going to rule out breastfeeding for you. It may not do. If it doesn't, that's a bonus, but it might do. So just be cautious. If breastfeeding is important, then hold off for a little while. Okay, cool.